big batch bulk cooking surprise party. That's what tonight's theme is. Welcome back again today, friends. Yes, it is time. We are doing it. We are doing another massive homemade freezer meals from scratch and meal prep. We've got all kinds of fresh produce. We've got things from the freezer, all of these goodies, getting ahead for my large family of 10. And also a few sensible portions. We are meal prepping for 3 other people in our lives who could use some extra meals for the coming week. And I'm just finishing up. I had cleaned out this refrigerator this morning, and in another video I did for you guys, which I think is out already, I just shared about, I don't think I flooded my island, but let's do that today, right? I shared about how I have had containers in that big refrigerator many times over the years, and during seasons when I felt like be a normal mom, haha, and micromanage my refrigerator and those kind of things. Don't worry, these tortillas are filling their purpose today. Sorry to talk to you from the back turned. Having a lot of different organizing containers in the refrigerator in my universe, all the universes I have lived in, work well if I'm able to every other week or so check in and make sure things are flowing well through the containers. I have not checked the containers. I've slowly reduced down to over the years at all this summer. So we had to clean some out, do some organization, do some deep refrigerator cleaning. I will link that video down in the description below for you. But I shared at one point when I first got that refrigerator in 2022, I had like 12 of these, all labeled, all organized. And then like this one says Mom's Cooking Sauces. But anyway, when my life imploded, you know, organizing refrigerator containers starting 2 years ago, that's just not a survival priority. Go 2025, wrap it up, rolling into 2026. Will we move back into organized giant refrigerator containers? It could happen. I don't know. I do have some more of these down in my basement. So anyway, we're gonna get going with these massive, you can hear me, hold on here. These were my condiment containers. I had a few things spill in them, but we're gonna get going with massive, I think that's hot sauce coming up in the air. Woo, buffalo sauce. Massive freezer meals and meal prep happening now. I am gonna get 2 to 3 teenagers in here to prep, to work on sitting at the table and prepping this produce for me. You and I, we're gonna get going, cooking a bunch of sausage. I've got 8 pounds of sausage here, another mountain of sausage I just pulled from the freezer like an hour ago. That sausage. This sausage, I had someone pull last night and it was defrosting in the refrigerator and I set it on the counter also probably about an hour ago. We're doing lots of things to use up that sausage. That's from John Henry. Sorry, no, this sausage, actually, we got it marked down at Sharp Shopper. I'm like, I need more sausage. I almost put some just in a fill-in Walmart odds and ends order, but then I went down to the downstairs freezers and I shopped for things we had. And I found in my chicken freezer, look at this. I had some sausage gold, so 2, 4, 6, another 7 pounds of sausage. So we'll have about 15 pounds of sausage total. Also, thinking quick sausage meal prep things. Of course, we have some ham, but I have some cauliflower rice. Of course, we have broccoli. These are the last of my cauliflower rice preps, but just one recipe. Oh no, look. Okay, 16 pounds of sausage. I was thinking of just prepping a very simple cauliflower, rice, broccoli, and sausage bowls in meal prep containers. Brought some cheese up for some breakfast recipes we're gonna do. Celery will be towards jar salads and also for me to have with my mashed avocado a couple times a day. But several of these things from the freezer, I need to do cold water defrost method. Hoping to get to cabbage lasagnas. We have 50 pounds of cabbage to prep plus a cabbage that was judging me, so probably 55-ish pounds. We have some things we will get to today and some things we won't. I had someone chop up 2 other watermelons today, so these will wait a few days. We should do this cantaloupe today though and prep these strawberries. I think the butternut squash might end up waiting for another day. I have 6 total and I just don't think we're gonna get to that today. I do have 50 pounds of potatoes. I just got those yesterday. And days of the week, let's see, I'm gonna move some things around here. It is Saturday when I'm doing this meal prep. I'm doing a big 4-day camping thing with my folks starting tomorrow evening. So my next big, massive meal prep and freezer meal day will be Thursday. And I believe then we will tackle the potatoes. I don't think we're gonna get to those today, but we have, let's see, looking 16 pounds of strawberries and then a half bushel of cucumbers. And so that's some stuff I'm gonna put my guys on here while you and I get cooking meat. I just wanted to organize some things down. I got this bag of candy onions. I'll put this John Henry and Costco shopping video for you down below if you are interested. But I'm hopeful, forever hopeful. We will have a good crack at it today. And if there's anything I plan to do today that I don't get to, we will pick that up and we will move that to Thursday when I have an opportunity to do this again. I'm going to get, so these sausages are frozen. I just need to get the packaging off. And I'm probably going to bulk cook the sausage in a big pot, maybe my goose pot or my 30-quart stock pot. And I have so many yummy things we're doing with sausage. So I'm hopeful to get traditional sausage gravy prepped. Also, I want to do a keto low-carbish sausage gravy variation. I want to do home-style traditional biscuits. Maybe we'll double the butter, maybe it'll be an extra buttery time. I also want to do low-carb, sugar-free, gluten-free biscuit variation. I have sausage patties, so hopeful on getting some sausage patties in the freezer. My last 2 meal prep videos, I've talked about breakfast burritos, and I don't have them in the freezer. We have made some, I shared some with friends, but we have these tortillas, and I need to get on that today. So that's gonna involve some sausage, egg, and cheese scramble type things. Oh, and I have 2 more packs of this ham that was frozen that I brought up. The spaghetti sauce from the freezer, I'm hopeful to do, because we've got a lot of cabbage, don't we? I want to prep cabbage lasagna for the freezer. I want to prep similar, it's another variation, few different ingredients. Just another thing with cabbage, a cabbage roll casserole. Again, these are low-carb, sugar-free, gluten-free, and check those boxes. And then it's been a bit since I've prepped this for the freezer. I am like the egg roll in a bowl queen. I'm making it, I make it all the time. Different proteins, we do it. But I know in the past, I think it has been, I want to say in my new life, in the past 2 years I have prepped it, but I don't recall. I know summer 2023, back in that old universe, I know I prepped a good bit of egg roll in the bowl for the freezer. I froze the cabbage raw because I remember fall 2023 afterlife implosion being here with my large cast irons, crying while I dumped out the egg roll in the bowl components. But anyway, it was so easy to take the egg roll in the bowl from the freezer, didn't have to do the chopping and such that's gonna go down today, cook it in my pan, and it was ready. Just all that prep work and assembly, and it froze well. That was super. That's some mayonnaise that is unopened that needs to go in the cabinet. So let's go do the whiteboard real quick because I like checking stuff off. And like everything, live life by the timer. So I'm just going to make a prep list. There's forts going on, by the way, right outside that door, and it's a real good time. And it's raining. And it's 2:30 on a Saturday afternoon, so this is a good deal. Okay, so I'm going to have them prep. They are going to do 16 pounds of strawberries, bushel of cucumbers. It's 55 pounds of cabbage, and some of that is going to have to be chopped, and some of it will have to be whole leaves. I'll think about that. And then what else is over there? That's probably that. Okay. And I need to get my meal prep containers with some lids. They can find those things for their mama. And then we need to cook our sausage. We'll get some good workflows going with that. It seems like once we get the sausage going into the gravy, and then our scrambles, sausage, gravy, and I just put keto because it's shorter. Sausage, gravy. Then we're gonna have our egg roll in a bowl is going to be with sausage. And then we're gonna have our unstuffed, cabbage roll casserole. And then we're going to do homemade biscuits. And again, we'll see how our butter works out. Biscuits, and then I'm gonna do gluten-free biscuits. And we're gonna do homemade ranch dressing, and we're gonna do jar salads. Looking at my list here. Oh, and cabbage lasagna, which that's why I have that spaghetti sauce that's defrosting too. We prepped that a few weeks ago, and I froze 2-gallon bags. Okay, and then we are gonna do breakfast burritos, traditional and low carb, sugar-free, gluten-free. Okay, and that will be a mega lot. This is just my little scribble scrabble to keep it straight. This is what I'm gonna have some teens work on. We are gonna get cooking this sausage and get a move on there. Assemble breakfast burritos. Once they're done with cabbage, we will roll into egg roll in a bowl freezer meal assembly, cabbage roll casseroles, cabbage lasagna. We are going to also do traditional biscuits. We're going to do low carb, sugar free, gluten free, keto biscuits. We're going to do some homemade ranch and some jar salads and get this all pulled off in about 4 hours, large family style, for so many meals for the coming days, weeks, and months. Because folks always ask me how long our freezer meals last. I mean, some of these, an unstuffed cabbage casserole, maybe some homemade biscuits, we could in 12 weeks be pulling the last couple servings of those out of the freezer. Some of these things are going to be used this week, especially like the homemade ranch and the jar salads. Those will be over the next 7 days as an option. Breakfast burritos, what I can get in the freezer 4 weeks from now. Hey, we need some breakfast burritos tomorrow, pull them from the freezer. I forgot, just added this on. I want to do the sausage, broccoli, and cauliflower rice prep too, and those will be in meal prep containers and frozen and eaten as needed. All right, so we have other things being chopped and prepped, and I'm going to work on getting the 16 pounds of sausage cooking. I think we're just gonna go with a 30 pot, yeah, 30 pots or 30 quart stock pot at this point, which is here. Of course, we have some crumbs on the top. They have stories to tell. And I should be able to chop into those sausage packs that are still halfway frozen by now. So now it is just a process of getting, I like to throw a little bit of oil in my pot, even whenever I'm gonna cook with meat and it's gonna have its own oil. I'll throw a little olive oil or a little avocado oil spray at the bottom of that. And now I got to get the sausage out of the packaging. My goodness, this is a difficult undertaking, but we still get it done. And so I slice down every pack of sausage and I squeeze the sausage meat out, and we are going to big batch cook all of this sausage in the pot for many of the projects that I think I'm doing in this video, and also spontaneous projects that come up. You'll have to wait and see. You'll be just as surprised as I am at what we get done and how the end ends up from the beginning. We're doing great things here though. I'm always happy when I can have these massive homemade freezer meals and epic meal prep days. They are certainly nice. Would you be surprised from the future to know that the whiteboard does not go as planned? My time does not go as planned. We still get a whole lot done. We still get as much cooking done that would feed a family of 4 or 5 or 6. So many meals. And we get a ton of huge meals done for my large household of 10. As I like to say, it's like serving Thanksgiving 3 meals a day over here. Some folks will say, well, what happened to all that food I watched you prep in the last video? And it's like, well, sweetie, if you watched me prep that a week ago, that was gone like 3 or 4 days ago. So in the past, I have been able to get freezer meals ahead, and those meals have been sprinkled around for about 12 weeks or so, but it takes a bit for a large family to get ahead that much, because much of the freezer meals or food that I meal prep, we actually eat in the coming days around this meal prep, and then we get what portions we can in the freezer. Now, I will say by the end of this video, we do get way more than a dozen meals. I'd say probably 2 dozen or so homemade freezer meals from scratch in the freezer, between our breakfast meal prep and between our dinner meal prep. We do actually get some. We get a little bit ahead, which is amazing. And then we also have meals that we cook on this big epic, these meal prepping days, because there's gonna be another day. Buckle up. We also get a lot of food prepped that's gone within 24 hours. And that's just the life of a mega mama, feeding lots of people all day, every day. Alrighty, I just washed these off with some soap and water. I know we will need to use this bowl and that knife again. We got 16 pounds of sausage going in the 30-quart pot, and other adventures, and I still have not gotten another meat masher, so we'll be doing that the old-fashioned way. My meat mashers are still MIA, and that is A-okay, but anyway, we'll just break it up with a spatula. We'll need this, like I said, for something. We got some strawberries being prepped here. We got our cantaloupe done and the cucumbers going down. Continuing the stirring process. It's the only thing about using the big pot. I gotta really get down in there. I did add about a cup of water just in case my little arms are not reaching and scraping properly. I think I have been getting pretty good. But just in case, there's enough moisture and sausage goodness happening that 1 cup of water during cooking is not going to hurt anything, and it will help prevent me from burning things. So That's always nice. I'm going to get the two big cast irons out because I want to go right into doing a sausage, egg, and cheese scramble for breakfast burrito adventures. And I am prepping breakfast burritos for 13 because we have 3 other people we're going to drop at least a few breakfast off for. Okay, I'll let that keep cooking. And I probably think we need our cute little pan. Although, if I'm just frying like 4 or 5 eggs, I love using this. The broken oven has a purpose right now to hold the big cast iron. Probably put that lid on. There we go. Okay, I just pulled our two boxes of eggs out of the fridge, but one only has 8 eggs, one only has like 6. And I'm going to do a big prep on the scramble. We're going to do a 60 count egg box plus those random eggs that need to finish finding their purpose at our house for our big massive egg scramble. This sausage is cooking nice now. Put our lid back on it. Crack all the eggs. Let's see. All right. So, no, that's more than 6. What do we got there? 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. 18 eggs from these boxes, and then we'll do another 60 on top of that. Unless he grabs the Costco box, those might be 50 count eggs. We're about to find out. So it's just a real good egg cracking time now. We use dozens and dozens of eggs in this massive meal prep, and still at the end I'm like, I could have probably done more. So we go through these egg boxes quickly, and yep, that's why I buy boxes of eggs, because we definitely roll through them around here. We are able to get so many servings of healthy burritos in the freezer, and these eggs help make it possible. So with these eggs, we are doing, let me just verify, these are 60 eggs. Okay, then we had 18. So we've got 78 eggs that we're using, 6½ dozen, probably just about what we need. Maybe we really need 8 dozen, but there we go. Another day in paradise, 6½ dozen eggs. Maybe we'll put about 3, I'm thinking here. We need sausage for sausage gravy and our other recipes coming up, but we do have 16 pounds of sausage. So let's call it 4 pounds of sausage in this scramble, and then I have that cubed ham. And I don't have any other plans for that cubed ham, so cubed ham, sausage, eggs, cheese, deliciousness components for breakfast burritos. We are here for it. I will right now, as I do these eggs, hold on, I got one little shell in there. I can get it. I'll throw a little splash of probably heavy cream in here because I have so many to use up, and some salt and pepper. Mix that up. Then we'll get that cooking, and then we will add in our sausage and eggs to those. And that will be our breakfast scramble for the traditional flour tortillas, the gluten-free tortillas, and the extreme wellness keto avocado oil tortillas that have all been here judging us, but today they are going down, and I'm probably going to have my guys here work on wrapping them for me once I get this cooked and assembled. You and me, and my friends in Singapore and South Africa and Australia, all of you guys that watch from all over, we're gonna do some breakfast burrito assembly as well. I heard from another viewer just this morning when I was answering some comments, and she said she meal preps for herself. She said just the other day she did 17 or 18 breakfast burritos. She kept a couple in her refrigerator for the coming week, and then she froze the rest, and she said she had learned how to do that several years ago here on my channel, which is so fun to hear. And now it's just part of her regular, hey look, I meal prepped routine to have breakfast burritos going. We tried a variation a week ago where I also did 4-ish pounds of hash browns on the Blackstone. And so those were used in some prepped at the time breakfast burritos, but still, despite my best efforts, when I do these big cooking days, many times it's just for the coming 3, 4, 5 days. We have gotten some things in the freezer recently though, like those 2-gallon bags of spaghetti sauce, and we're gonna use a bag of that today. I hope that that is enough, but if we have to, we can quick defrost that second bag. And of course, we've been getting some good gluten-free, sugar-free, and trim healthy mama and keto-ish variations of some healthy desserts have made it into the freezer, which is nice because of course I get sections of time where I get those done, and then it might be 3 months before I can do something like that again. So I'm always hopeful, but I like to get ahead when I can. So there's our 6½ dozen eggs about to go down. Okay, we got to do a quick check-in on the sausage, and then we're gonna whip up those eggs. Wish I had my chopper. What is the difference? Okay, this is some garlic and onion salt from Redmond's we'll throw in there. So here's all the produce that they prepped. We've got our 16 pounds of strawberries here, a ton of cucumber. We're gonna use these in our jar salads too. The two cantaloupe. And this is just some cucumber that they chopped before they skinned it. So anyway, we will use both types, and that's done. Okay, so I've got our cubed ham, discount from Sharp Shopper. We got a pound in each bag. I'm going to use 2 bags. And then I'll check the sausage, and we will eyeball about 4 pounds in here. I think at the beginning I was going to do the eggs and then add the meat in, and now I'm apparently not, because I already added in that ham. I really think it's 6 one way, half dozen another. It's all fine. And I do plan to use the drippings from the sausage. Sorry, this is burning my hand. The sausage gravy. So we'll just hold it in the pot I don't have my glove anymore because that was cool. I'm gonna turn this heat off. That looks good. I have one of my teens helping get my different meal prep containers and the lids that go with them on the island for us, ready to go. They finished the cantaloupe and the strawberries and those cucumbers. And now they are gonna take a break, and I need to get my cabbage chopping list thought out as to how much I need shredded and how much I need of the leaves for different recipes. Well, for the 3 cabbage recipe variations that we're doing. So I just figure I'm gonna keep focusing on these breakfast items, and when they come back from their break, I will give them cabbage chopping assignments. Okay, that's good. It's definitely cooked all the way through. Just need to chop it more. I need to put 2 meat mashers on my next Walmart order. It's just nice because, I mean, this is all I ever knew until, what was it, 6 or 7 years ago that you all introduced me to the meat masher. The meat masher's neat if you've never met one before because it's like a star prong at the end. So it's like double chopping action. And I see that. Gonna play some pot Tetris here. Move our hands. Let's see. That lid is still talking to us. And I'll add cheese to the top once we start getting these eggs cooked through. I think I'm just gonna start it how I have it mixed, and then we'll dip in sausage, and then we'll do cheese, and it'll be delicious. And I'm going to just start these cast iron out with some lard. Just a speck of lard in this one. Pretty good, 3/4 of a jar there. Lots of tallow judging us. So much tallow judgment happening, but that's okay. Well, I'm just gonna let that one sit upside down for a minute. Truly scraping the bottom of the barrel there, bottom of the lard jar. And I'm using this instead of butter. And remember, this is 6½ dozen eggs. So that 2 tablespoons of lard, and then what will end up being, don't judge me, I'm using a metal on glass. I mean, the glass already judged me. Anyway, another 2 tablespoon equivalent probably in this pan, and that goes across a great many protein. Okay. I did go ahead and dump that cubed ham in there. I'm just going to stir this in a minute. And the ham will still sink to the bottom. It's still going to be a whole thing. Sorry, I found one random yolk in here that didn't get popped. Ringing the gong of my big bowls. Okay, I will just spoon ham in there. Okay, 6½ dozen eggs over 2 22-inch cast iron pans. gonna rinse this spatula. It's already doing a great many things. Now I do use metal spatulas on my cast iron. I haven't had a problem with it. Your mileage may vary. Okay, now I'm going to scoop out sausage into both of these. I'm draining the sausage as I'm scooping it. I guess I could go ahead and drain it all. I just want to save the drippings from it. Some of it will need to be used for sausage gravy. Although this is working too, it just takes a minute. Okay, got that. And creativity. Walk it to my other big pan. Okay, we'll do some scoops over this way, and then we will scramble it all together here in a moment. Scrambled up pretty well. The only thing with getting two pans going at once is I do get some judgy pans. This is on low. Now, I might just need to turn this one off. I'm going to let it set for another minute and then we'll turn it off. Go ahead and turn that one off. These are looking pretty good. They are cooking pretty quickly. I turned that heat off. I'm going to scramble it some more and then we're going to put cheese in it. So dairy-free variations would be, you could use some unsweetened almond milk if you would like, even a little bit of coconut milk. And then if you wanted cheese, there's dairy-free cheese alternatives. I had a season where I took out all dairy because I was doing a great many things in reference to working to get my inflammation down. I have had some dairy the last couple months. I've added back in, and I need to have my lab work done again. It's September. I haven't had lab work since January. My lab work in January was beautiful. But I had 4 solid elimination months that I did a lot to reduce my inflammation. So, feel great. But honestly, I felt great last summer, 2024, when I got back all that awful lab work, even after losing 60 pounds. So, we'll see. I'm hopeful. And I know there's further testing you can do for dairy and things. It's just, for many women my age, the standard that I have heard is to take out gluten and dairy anyway, I don't have dairy every day. Like, I did eat a lot of yogurt every day and a lot of cultured cottage cheese and all those delicious things. And so over the last couple months, I've had some eggs with cheese on it sometimes, or some salads with cheese on it, like grilled Caesar chicken salads, no croutons, but they still have the Parmesan cheese. And then of course, some of these lovely gluten-free, sugar-free, low-carb desserts. So we all have different things we have to work with. Okay, that heat is still on low on that one. This heat is totally off. This is my favorite burner, by the way. You've seen those memes about, you know, you never knew growing up you'd have a favorite burner. This, all the way to the left one, is my favorite burner. Okay, we will get some cheese in these. I probably need to just turn the heat off in this one also. So this is what I think about when I cook on that Blackstone. It's a 22-inch Blackstone. These are 22-inch cast iron pans. I did order a second 22-inch Blackstone, so I will have 44 inches of Blackstone space. I could have got the 36-inch, but I wanted to get another 22 on wheels because I like the stand. And 44 inches of cooking space, you know, that's great too. Many people have asked about me cooking on my Blackstone on my back deck. My back deck is the original 1963 deck. The concrete has been cracking. It's not great. It's not great. If I stay in this house, eventually I need to have repair work done there and probably a whole other deck, like wooden deck built over top of it's what I'm thinking. I'm not there yet though, where home projects, major home projects are in my mind or my budget. Some people have asked, why don't you build an outdoor cooking space? You know, have a gazebo built, have this built. And I can't. But I can buy eggs, so that's pretty great. And I can buy 50 pounds of potatoes, and we can make some lard. And pretty good. Another thing I just don't always have cottage cheese, and I do, so I'm just going to talk a lot about cottage cheese in this video. I do have a couple containers of the good cultured cottage cheese because I was thinking about those cabbage lasagnas, and I like to use cottage cheese or ricotta, but when we scramble these eggs, I could have put a container of cottage cheese in there also, just for some more protein, and no one ever knows when I do that. So there's a little fun tip from the internet. I learned that from my YouTube viewers, and I've done that many times. And one of my elementary guys was just in here. I was just mixing the eggs. He was like, oh, that smells so good. So he wants a breakfast burrito for lunch. And of course we have a ton of fruit prep now. 2 watermelons, 17 pounds of strawberries, but I mean, it's 2.5 gallon bags. Those strawberries, 24 hours, they're gone. And we have that cantaloupe. People have already been picking at that. So those fruit, collectively, all of that fruit will be gone within 48 to 72 hours. Then we have the half bushel of apples. I believe the favorite apple at this house is mostly the green varieties. The Golden Delicious and the Granny Smith. Although, I mean, I love Red Delicious. We have people who do eat Red Delicious, but I figured a half bushel of a green variety apple would be greatly appreciated. And then by the time, you know, now it'll take probably 5 days from when the great apple snacking starts. Once we're done with this fruit, And then before we know it, I'll be back at my next meal prep day, which is in about 5 or 6 days. And on that day, I hope to work through a bunch of those potatoes. We only have the one oven, but we can do it. Okay, and this is where it's been hard to get breakfast burritos actually prepped in the freezer. I do have one of my folks wanting a scoop of this to eat right now, so that is what I'm going to get him. Some sausage, ham, egg, and cheese scramble with afternoon rainy days Saturday Legos. Sounds like a plan. Okay, we got some wins. Well, we can just cross all of this off because my team's got, oh, we didn't get the cabbage done. Hold on. That's coming. I told them they might be wrapping burritos once I assemble them here soon. Well, we did cook sausage. We did get eggs done. I should have egg scramble. Okay, and so I'm gonna assemble burritos, and then I think the next thing meal prep wise potentially will be the sausage, broccoli, cabbage bowls, and then I probably need to move into the variations of homemade biscuits, sausage gravy, jar salads. And oops, I do only 17 pounds of sausage. I did have another one that I just found there. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna dump both cast irons of their egg scramble into here, and then we will get our big breakfast burrito assembly station going. Probably could have just as easily carried the bowl over to the stove. But we like adventure. So I need to, here in a moment, well, we're going to assemble a variety of burritos. I may have my team of teens individually wrap them and get them ready in the freezer. That will be great. We are doing this part. And then my soul, you know, you kind of look for the spot where to enter in. My soul is saying, I really want to cook some cauliflower rice and some broccoli in lard and add some sausage and do a delicious cauliflower rice scramble bowl there. And do a delicious cauliflower rice, broccoli, and sausage bowl variation. But do a big skillet of it. That sounds good. But this scramble here has been a total hit in my house. This is the third time I've made it, I think in 7 days. This time we've added sausage. But like I say, my elementary boys, they're like, oh yeah, we want some more of that. So they are eating that for lunch on this rainy day. Again, Legos, forts, probably a dozen clean covers all over my living room with pillows, all kinds of fort action. And that's what childhood is, so that's great. Okay, so I'm going to start with the gluten-free breakfast burritos first. So see my next little, like, this is next, this is next. Of course we have sausage gravy and biscuits ready to judge us too. I haven't opened one of these. No? Yes. None of these are open. Okay, well then, that one's left from last week though. These are some more meal prep, and the other two families we're gonna share with also need this style wraps. And now these Extreme Wellness ones are not gluten-free, but I'm gonna do the gluten-free ones first, and then we'll move on to these. So these Extreme Wellness gluten-free tortillas, they're not wrapping super. I think I can hold them together. I'm going to need to wrap them now. I thought maybe it was just one off tortilla. So anyway, let me get what I need to wrap these. Yes, this is how we cut foil around here, because the box my foil came in, all of that has been well loved and used and crafted with. So maybe next time at Costco I'll have another go, try to get another one. Okay, hopefully let's get these wrapped. And maybe they won't all turn out like this, like kind of crack as I roll them. But it's all okay. It's gonna work out fine. I need my marker. I'm just putting GF on here. They're breakfast burritos, and there are no other gluten-free type burritos right now. Of course, in upcoming meal prep, we can do meat and cheese and pinto beans and all our lunchtime type burritos and prep those. And that one I probably didn't have enough filling in. Gonna take a few minutes for me to get warmed up on my best patterns. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Try to get 3 burritos out of this. I don't know, I could be wrong. Here I can get a system for how much of a cup I'm using for each breakfast burrito. Maybe. I think I had some wishful thinking on cutting this foil. Okay. Well, looky there. Okay, stick with 2. And I will put these in a freezer bag that's labeled gluten-free breakfast burritos. Just going to put GF on the wrappers for now and keep them in their own container. Maybe kind of sideways, I can get away with it. Okay, well maybe that's our trick. We wrap them diagonally on the smaller ones. I'm gonna try it again. Experiments. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna see if my smaller sheets doing the burritos at an angle, I can get away with it, although I'm not, there's no math going on here. This is all not getting my scissors in my eye. All eyeballing school here, which, you know, it has served me pretty okay, but definitely tells on me when I get things wrong. Thank goodness perfection is not required. Okay, so we're gonna try these, the little diagonal action. Okay, that's working, that's working. Way too much egg. No, this one didn't work quite as well. But we're gonna also put these in freezer bags. I'm gonna do one, well, we'll do it right now. Let's see here. So, I'm gonna put gluten-free egg, sausage, ham, breakfast burritos. Now don't let the foil fool you. Put 925. We're not going to do these in the oven. I have done breakfast burritos in the oven after we freeze them, and then we'll pull them, we'll defrost them, take them out of the wrappers, put them on a sheet pan, put them in the oven. Definitely have done that, but for the 1 to 2 people here that would eat these, they will just pull 1 or 2 at a time the night before, use them the following morning, and we will go from there. I have one dedicated 100% gluten-free person who doesn't have any other dietary accommodations, just gluten, but not celiac, you know, the world we live in. And this is mainly for them. And then these are not gluten-free, and I work on being gluten-free when and where I can. I am one of the people that will eat these, and that is fine for me. It gets complicated, doesn't it? Life and diets and bodies and things. Oh, I just thought I finished that up, and I've got 3 more, almost. I was getting ahead of myself, getting excited with that wrapping. Okay, we will do 3 more. again, I don't know how much gluten-free folks will like these. But I know they like the scramble, so it's worth a shot because I haven't been able to prep these for them here recently. Worth a shot. And if it's not their favorite thing, there are enough people here. I could take all of these and do those on a sheet pan in 6 weeks, one morning for breakfast. I just won't say that it's gluten-free. I won't say nothing. You know, as a mom, like something, you just don't say nothing. You just heat it up and you serve it. It's gone, right? Right. Don't have to give any clues. You know, if I say these are gluten-free tortillas or gluten-free bagels, well then that sends little alarms off in the minds of non-gluten-free humans because they have seen the journey and heard the tales of different people trying different gluten-free products, and they know, hey, some things are great, and whatever is great, like Amy's chili mac, we just buy a lot of that. And then the things that are not great, we don't get those again. So if they see, if I give clues, gluten-free folks don't want these breakfast burritos, they're gonna be like, why not? Instead, if I just heat up some breakfast burritos, no details provided. These are homemade breakfast burritos that your mom made, kids, with the scramble that you love. And then they can decide. They can test and see if the burritos are good, right? And then there's at least been some life given to the gluten-free burrito attempt and gluten-free wraps. Now, I am certainly hopeful on this massive homemade freezer cooking day. I'm hopeful that I'm making biscuits, but I can tell you from the future, we don't get no biscuits made on this day. It's on the whiteboard, and you know the great thing about the whiteboard? When I get dumping my epic meal prep projects on the whiteboard, we get to what we get to, which is a whole mega lot, and what we don't get to, you know what? This is a wet erase marker. No one's gonna come by and dry erase that list off. It stays there, it likes it, it waits for me. And sometimes my meal prep ideas on that whiteboard, we might circle it 2 to 3 weeks. You know how this goes. No lies being told. We might circle, but we will get it done. All right, so now we have prepped 11 gluten-free sausage, egg, and ham breakfast burritos. And so coming up, you got it, we will be doing massive homemade biscuits. We've done it before, we'll do it again. We're not doing it on this day, even though it's precious to see how many times I think I am going to get it done. I love me for that. And I can report to you from the future that actually gluten-free folks highly approved of the gluten-free burritos. Many of those have been consumed. They get the stamp of approval. So those gluten-free wraps, I mean, they are approved at my house, so that's a really big deal. Now I'm going through and I'm prepping using the Extreme Wellness low-carb wraps. These also are done with avocado oil. Again, I have 3 people in my household specifically who would like these wraps, and everyone else who falls under the everyone else category is also more than welcome to eat these, just with different dietary preferences and needs. I am prepping these in particular as well. And then we also prep with Great Value tortillas. And I know I'm really limping things along here, cutting my foil. I guess I just need to get another foil box, and then maybe I would pass this foil on and say, hey, here's your crafting foil. But I think if I did that, there would probably be like, I mean, it would be a fun day. There would be foil forts and foil armor and foil hats. Right now, the foil is used for crafting, which is why I no longer have my foil cutting box, right? I'm cutting my own. Look, yes, do I sew? I do. I craft and sew with foil from my missing Costco box. This is about as close as we get to Jamerrill cutting things out as if I was going to sew or do a pattern, haha. Worth a shot. Although those look so much smaller, I must be doing something backwards here. So anyway, I could even, okay, strategize with me. I could keep this foil in the same place, so it's used and loved the same way. But maybe what I have to do, I might have to move locations. I wonder if I no longer store my foil and my plastic wrap that I need to actually do food, maybe I just need a whole other place to put those. And life can continue as normal, but when you and I meal prep, I have, you know, foil and plastic wrap that's easily accessible. But there we go. I'm getting a system wrapping these because the strips of foil I have cut are such long, odd rectangles, basically. But I know if I kind of wrap them around, it all works out. It all works out. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe in October we get a new giant foil at Costco and we get a new giant plastic wrap at Costco. And I just put it somewhere else, maybe on the back of my refrigerator. And that way, yep, on meal prep days, we have it. And I'm not also cutting foil with scissors and plastic wrap with scissors. And the existing foil and plastic wrap are our decoys, right? Pay no attention to mom's new box of foil and new box of plastic wrap. That's totally not at the back of the refrigerator. This is the foil and the plastic wrap here in the cabinet, how it's always been. There's nothing to see here, okay? Take your foil for your craft projects. They do the most precious things though. They'll get like all their stuffies and make armor and helmets and like, you know, knee armor, knee pads and things. It's super creative. I love it. This is the life we live. I would just like to rip foil off the box, you know, a little differently. But that's okay. We're doing it. We're making it work. We are dumping about half a cup of our egg scramble into the tortilla, and then we wrap it up pretty okay. And then I put it down in the foil, and depending on how the foil talks to me is how we wrap it. And it's working out. It's a pretty good system. We just invented it right now because I've never dealt with foil sheets this size before, but it's working out pretty good. So the half a cup of our egg scramble is working out well on these tortillas. Gluten-free ones just were super crumbly and I had to take a little off, but I think these are doing pretty good. There we go. No diagonal with this cut, Jamerrill. And so in the past, when I have done freezer burritos, which I love hearing from viewers who say, I never knew you could freeze breakfast burritos, and oh my goodness, I do this all the time now for myself or my family or my husband or whatever. And so that's fantastic. When I freeze burritos, in the past, I have also, well, we've done it a couple different ways. Sometimes we have wrapped them in plastic wrap and filled a gallon bag. Sometimes we wrap them in foil and fill a gallon bag. I like filling the gallon bags with about, 8 to a dozen burritos. Depends on the size of the tortilla. Some of these great value ones are true burrito size. They're like large or extra large tortillas. And those, my guys are able to get in a bunch of good filling, and that's like
man-sized breakfast burritos for them, and they might have 2 of them at a time. Hard to tell, whatever their hollow legs need on those mornings or those afternoons or bedtime snack. You know, we make it and it is eaten. It is like if you make it, they will eat it. So I like to fill the gallon freezer bags because my household is in a good routine when they need or want or desire breakfast burritos. They get 1 to 2 of the gallon bags from the freezer, put it at the bottom of the upstairs refrigerator, and then in a day or so, once those are defrosted, they take them out of the foil or the plastic wrap and they microwave them. Now, yes, we do have some mornings where we open them all up, get them on a sheet pan, get them in the oven, and that's another way to do it as well. Many times though, a lot of the meals that I make in this season in life are what I call choose your own adventure. And so the breakfast burritos are an option, and out of 10 people, you know, maybe 4 to 6 choose that as their breakfast adventure that morning. And then maybe someone else fries themselves some eggs because that's just what they want to feel like doing, right? And so they'll do that. Maybe 2 other people get some bagels, and you know, I'm over here probably eating some celery and some Costco buffalo chicken dip because I absolutely love that, and some mashed avocado, and choosing my own adventure. And we just prep a lot of food for a whole lot of people. Again, Thanksgiving 3 times a day, and it all works out. And I am going to meal prep one for me, myself, and I. And I'm probably gonna eat while I make the next couple, but the next couple are for me, myself, and I, and anyone else who lives here who wants them. That pile of 8 I'm going to share with 3 other people. Burritos. Is that right? Yeah. Good. Feel like for this family of 2, I should give them at least 4. So let's do 2 more for them real quick before I take my sample. One group, I know what they like, and so I can do 6 for them. And then these folks have never had my breakfast burritos before, so I will give them 4 to see what they see. Usually get pretty good reviews on them. I don't want to give somebody, you know, a dozen and it's not their thing, right? I'm going to send this so they can see the wraps that I used. Leave a note. Test for mom.
Very good. Okay. Need to cut some more foil. There's a close-up of it. Very delicious.
So no complaints, and one of those breakfast burritos and one of those extreme wellness avocado oil wraps. I mean, that's my idea of a good time. And in a perfect world, just following my reversing my pre-diabetes and lowering my A1C and my glucose goddess and Coach Mama Fox and Dr. Ben Bickman, so many directions of these folks that I like to listen to. Many times I like to have some non-starchy vegetables before I eat. That's one of the glucose goddess hacks that I appreciate, and that's just something that works for my unique body.
We've now reached the time of the afternoon where I've realized, yes, this big cooking time, because I want to stop by 6:30. It's 5:23 because within this we have mom life and stuff and things. We have some friends over right now playing. We've got a great many things happening. Anyway, I'm going to have to swing the 50 pounds of cabbage meal prep. Don't worry, it'll be just a few minutes video time, but that will have to happen tomorrow. I have me and one of my teens are running a 5K at a college in the morning that's local, and that will have to be continued and finished in the afternoon. But I've already been asked about sausage gravy, so I'm gonna finish up some of these burritos. I'm gonna then have my guys take over the rest of the breakfast burritos, and then I'm gonna do the cauliflower, sausage, broccoli bowl situation, and then do sausage gravy and see how far we get from there. Now we do have, because we have to do biscuits, we do have emergency Pillsbury biscuits in the freezer that I got bags of 20 marked down at Sharp Shopper. So we have those too. So we're doing it, and I've got a little more than an hour left for tonight. Okay, so for my little breakfast burrito, mega breakfast burrito station, I've just scooped this out. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other pack of these Extreme Wellness low-carb tortillas to prep those. I scooped that out for myself. My guys are gonna take what's left here and then some Great Value tortillas as well and keep using those. And I'm gonna give them a 1 cup scoop. They might need that if they go for the large burritos. Okay, and then you'll just roll it like that. And then you can put them in a 9 by 13 dish, and then we'll go around through and wrap them. I'm gonna try to get back to my, can I do this quickly, foil prep. So I'm handing over the foil and the scissors to another guy, and he's gonna take my little twisted foil system and see what they can make happen. So a good point was just brought up. They are working through doing the large size burritos, and these are medium size. And of course I'm working with my little small foil strips. So instead of cutting their sheets into thirds, they're gonna have to do halves. So I had told them, you know, to do 7 of those sheets, cut it 3 times, well, cut it twice, so they have 3 pieces, and then we'd end up with 21 burrito wraps. And actually, you guys are doing 16 over there, I think. I don't know if you'll end up with more or not, but anyway, we'll use it for something. Okay.
I borrowed one sheet of their foil to try to get these last 2 breakfast burritos done. Okay, I think I have enough filling to finish out one more. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna go steal just 1/4 cup. This is how their assembly line's been going, and someone's wrapping them down there, so they actually, I think they're pretty much done. So that last little bit in their bowl can be somebody's helping. Or actually, maybe I should use that to just make a few more of this variation. All right, I just had one of my elementary guys wanted, this is one of those low-carb mission wraps. He wanted one now, so I'm just gonna heat it up, and I just heat it up for 30 seconds. So, I think I can get 2 more little burritos with that. There's our piles growing. Sorry, I heard something, got something filling in my sink and I heard it fall. These are the bigger pieces of foil. I guess I should cut these. Just a few extra prep for the larger, like teen boy size breakfast burritos. I think they got 16 done of those. We will do our counts, and then we did a dozen gluten-free. Bowl filling still. And then a bunch of these low-carb-ish avocado oil wrap ones too. All right, so now I'm gonna just get a few more bags. Might actually need 2 for teenage boy ones. Don't know, might need 2 more for these keto ones. And we'll do our final counts. And again, we just defrost and microwave 30 seconds to start. Sometimes it needs another 30 seconds. Someone heated one up today at 40 seconds and that was perfect. 9:25. Just in case we find a bag of these. So this is, oh, these are a lot heavier. This is the teen boy size regular flour tortilla wrap. These are the keto-ish ones with the extreme wellness wraps. Whatever you need, whatever you need. Let's see here. I'm just gonna write large. Large. So these definitely, they feel hearty. Feel like a teen boy would only need 2 of them. And some fruit and some more sausage. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's probably good. And then we'll do 8 in the other one. Okay. Large. Okay, so here's the final breakfast burrito count. We have 12 gluten-free. We have 16 like teenage boy size of your foot burritos. I was gonna give this family 4, but I gave them 6. So there you go. It'll be 3 breakfast. They can freeze what they don't eat, hopefully. Again, I always tell myself, like, try to be normal, Jamerrill. Try to do like normal amounts. So this is me trying, okay? Then we have 12 of the low-carb keto breakfast burritos that are gonna go in my freezer here. And then in this bag, I was passing on 6. Now I've given them 8. I hope it's okay. Okay, and the hot chocolate station has started. Plus they have found this Thin Mints whipped cream Girl Scout cookie Cool Whip variation marked down from Sharp Shopper. I knew it was discovered today. Today's the day. Hot chocolate activated. Your fork, let me just get this shot. Thank you.
Alrighty, so this next thing I'm making, it's just what my soul has been telling me it's time to do. So I'm going to do some lard in here, throw down some cauliflower rice, some broccoli, and then some sausage, and invent something. No recipe, just throwing things together that sound good. And if we call it a bowl, you know, you can put anything in a bowl, and maybe I'll eat it over a sweet potato. It just sounds delicious to me. So switching gears from breakfast items to dinner prep now. And then tomorrow afternoon, when I'm back from my run, we are going to continue on. And we are doing camping here in our own yard. We've never done that on this property. We used to camp outside all the time in our farmhouse. Never at the forest house because of the predatory wildlife. However, we're going to do that here over several days, and it just looks like, hey guys, Mama's going to finish her meal prep and then we're going to get started. But they can work on actually getting camp and such set up while I finish these projects, because I have so much prep and ready to go. But before I do videos like this, even today, before I started filming, I worked through my ideas, my ingredients. I worked on filming my meals of the week video, finishing that up. Did a small Walmart order of a few things I needed, and I made my whole plan. All of that, and I cleaned out my refrigerator. All of that honestly takes about 2.5 hours before I even started. And then before I started, but you know, before I saw you guys. And then from there, let's see, I guess I'll do this one. We have been cooking, started at 2:30, it's 6:15 now. And I'm gonna keep going till 6:30, and then because even though I do these big projects, I work to also be sensible, which is a whole full-time job in and of itself. I'm not gonna cook till midnight, how I would have done in another time and place. I'm gonna stop at 6:30 for today, have a nice evening, do my fun event in the morning, and then we're gonna come back, and it'll probably be another 3 or 4 hours of marathon cooking to get this big project done, and we will have done it over 2 afternoons. And of course, my plan on paper had said that I was starting today at 9 a.m., which is so precious. I love myself for that. I love us, it's just great. Sometimes those good intentions work out super. Sometimes it looks like I'm dressed and ready for the day by 11:30 and doing 2.5 hours of work before I start, and then I finally get to start. And here we are, and we're doing it, and I am proud of us. So this is looking nice. Kind of a stir-fry situation. I could add my favorites, liquid aminos and sesame oil, to this too. Could do that. Okay, we do have it. I've got 1 jar of this Primal Kitchen garlic Alfredo. I think we could do that. We could call this a garlic Alfredo situation. I have some garlic. Should have put that in first, but let me put a little bit in now. So I'm back to not being able to find my tablespoons. I'm doing 3 teaspoons of garlic. Some of our, let's see here, where did I put it? It's over here. Garlic and onion, Redmond salt. Looks right. Okay, I'm gonna do, dip open, yes. Little sensible amount of pepper. I'm in 2 packs of these cauliflower rice. It's the last 2 I had. I love them though. It already has olive oil and sea salt, garlic and herbs. These is a whole food brand, got for $1.49 a pack at Sharp Shopper. We'll get a dozen of those again when we see that they have them. And get our sausage going. I have had, again, team help in the kitchen. Like I had one of my folks wash off our cast iron pans and rub them down with some more oil again. So they were ready. I know it's because they were thinking, they were asking me about the, are you still doing sausage gravy? So, yes, we will. Okay. I'm sure that was good inspiration to help Mom wash the pans. And folks ask me about my kids helping, kids cooking in the kitchen and all of that. Just depends on the day and the activities. Like we've actually had friends over today. Their parents just came to pick them up too. Okay, that's probably good and sensible and leaving me sausage for other things, for other adventures. Now, nice. Yes. I got that heat on high. Hold on, Jamerrill. Okay, this is what we get. This is unplanned, spontaneous cooking. This is it in action. Woo, I've now decided, nope, I'm doing a full throw together Alfredo. Those need to go. Yeah, now I'm getting another pan dirty, so welcome to life with me. I think it'll be great though. It's just what we need to do right now. Get over there, sausage. But I want to backtrack here a minute. I thought I could keep it simple, and I'm sure this is delicious, but now I'm like, that just really needs a good Alfredo sauce on it. That 1 jar of Alfredo sauce I put on there from Primal Kitchen, it's dairy-free, and what we're about to do is not dairy-free, okay? But that's okay. I have random little sticks of butter. We're gonna get that going, and we are gonna do some cream cheese. We are going to do some heavy cream. We are going to melt those down. Yep, that is what we are doing. We will open. Get out of here, cream cheese. Okay. And I will probably, look at this, a little more garlic. So, if you're writing this recipe out, now we'll have the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have some actual shaved Parmesan, I just remembered. A little bit of everything. Is this even open? No. Okay, hold on here, hold on. Don't get away from me. I think I can do a little more heavy cream. It's pretty thick as it is, so all great, no complaints. Okay. This is a combination of so many different recipes from so many places that are just in my head. I know I have Alfredo variations over on largefamilytable.com and in my big batch cooking guides. I was just like, oh, we could just do that. Just trying to see if I want to try to stretch it a little more. It's probably just fine how it is. Get a little bit on there, probably not. Very good. Good job, Mama. Probably would have needed 4 jars of the Paleo Valley Alfredo to put a dent, to put any Alfredo situation in this, so it's okay. So for dinner tonight, now that I've prepped this over the last few hours, we have our low-carb, sugar-free, gluten-free Alfredo skillet, and there are maybe 12 burgers that I had meal prepped earlier this week that are left. Of course, we have a lot of fruit prepped, and there's enough ingredients. Everyone is always welcome to do anything else they want. And like you've seen, I had one breakfast burrito go out, but I don't know. I don't know if that counts for first dinner or for whole dinner for that particular human. Just not so sure. It's still on low. I'm gonna let it go on low a little bit longer. And I am going to put some more Parmesan on it. So definitely not a dairy-free variation here, but could be adapted as such. I'm going to sample some. I'm highly hopeful. The Alfredo is delicious. It's in my head, it's delicious. On our super classy paper plates. I know some folks are like, you have 2 dishwashers. Why do you ever have dishes in your sink? And you use paper plates. Well, it's 10 or more people all day, every day. 3 meals, you know, Thanksgiving 3 times a day. It adds up. Even with paper plates. On Thanksgiving, you can use paper plates, but you still can end up with a decent amount of dishes. Very good. So good. I feel like maybe I could have a little more pepper, but see, that's a personal preference thing. When in doubt, make some therapeutic Alfredo. Okay, delicious. My joke is things I think of, like, I hope everyone doesn't like it. And that means there will be 4 or 5 of us actively eating it. But obviously, I want everyone to love everything. So, happy dinner, maybe some portions left for tomorrow. Very good. I approve. I'm so glad you thought of it. Okay, I keep hearing it's really good, it's really good. Not everyone has gotten their heaping, helping servings tonight. We've got a few more that are on their way out. I've got like 2 more that are gonna come out and get some, and it's going quick. It's already gone. We didn't cook, we didn't do this. Okay, so 2 pieces of watermelon along with that. So I'm crossing off breakfast burritos. We did 54 of those. Crossing off, I had on here sausage, broccoli, cauliflower rice bowls. We know they've now become, what are we even calling them? You tell me. Broccoli Alfredo cauliflower rice bowls. Sounds good to me. Whole lot left on here, but a good amount done. And with the 54 burritos, we did traditional, low carb, keto, sugar free, and then we also did some gluten-free ones. 6.5 dozen eggs. Well, Jam Fam, it is day 2 and we are continuing on with our massive meal prep. I got the whiteboard list. It's looking pretty judgy. I feel like it's nothing we can't work through in a few more productive hours. Something that I do think will happen though, because that Alfredo we made last night, so very gone. I do think if I start with that biscuits and gravy, that, I mean, we're going to eat it. Sorry, some of these jars need to go back down to the basement. We're going to eat them, which is great because I cook for us to eat. However, I also want to get homemade freezer meals in the freezer. With the biscuits and gravy, I can do enough so we can also hopefully get some in the freezer. But I'm gonna let's start with all the cabbage, okay? I know a question I recently received, I think it was in my large family table community, whenever I did a live event, and one of the questions was, and it keeps coming up in my brain at different times, but how do I get motivated? How do I stay creative with meal prepping? And really, I just have to, wow, this like amplifies my voice. Okay. I just had to find that entry point again. Like last night, by the time we were doing that Alfredo, we were in a pretty good groove there. So I feel like today, let's start with getting egg roll in the bowl, prepped and ready to go in the freezer. We also have our cabbage roll casserole and cabbage lasagna. Let's do the cabbage things because right now I feel like it's a good opportunity in the afternoon to get those prepped and in the freezer. As I've said for so many years, my future self will thank me, right? And then we'll jump into biscuits and gravy and jar salads and homemade ranch, and that's actually what some of these jars can be for. And this is one of my tripods I use for my camera. We're back to you. We need, sorry, I'm I'm eating those cucumbers. That's the thing. All that food we meal prepped yesterday, I said the Alfredo's gone. Other stuff's being eaten. I think the watermelon's almost gone. I'm working on, well, we're cleaning up a second. New day, new things happening. And I want to wash this cabbage and get going with that. And it's a big one. I carried it at John Henry. Oh, I needed to get the bananas out. That's what we're doing. And I needed my colander here. Some good bananas to judge us over a few days. I did a 5K big group run at a local university this morning, and I took a banana and some of my sugar-free crunchy almond butter. This is cabbage from my refrigerator that's judging me, but we can peel those leaves off. Whew. Good for the arms, good for the arms. Let's see. Let's get our big bowls going again. And actually today, it's been about 2 years. I'm pretty sure it's been 2 years since I have big batch meal prep egg roll in the bowl for the freezer. And so within that, we're gonna need one of these bowls too. I just watched through my last video where I did it in summer 2023, past universe, before life implosion, how we keep things straight around here. Anyway, and I love Homestead Me. Homesteading Me. I just love her. She was so happy. She was so hopeful. And I'm happy and hopeful too. Again, it's just, you know, different universe. Different universe, so different perspective and different goals. I was talking in that video. I'll link it for you below because it's precious. It's so precious. But I was just jabbering about my Jersey cow and how I had just had her AI'd, so she was gonna have a baby. And I mean, we were hopeful. I didn't know yet if it had took, but I do know now from the future, 2 years later, that the family that I had to give her to, her name was Hazel, and Hazel had, which is like such a standard Jersey cow name. But anyway, Hazel had a little heifer calf, and Hazel has turned out to be the sweetest, best milk cow ever for her family. And so I've just got to be a little part of her story. But in my egg roll in a bowl prep, I was sharing with you all about Hazel and her, you know, difficult cow heats and how it was just easier. I had decided to have her bred, and that would mean it would have been summer 24 that she would have had her baby here, but she did not. She also got to live in an alternate universe. So it was a good refresher on how I did the egg roll in a bowl as a freezer meal. I was pretty sure I just prepped it as egg roll in a bowl, liquid amino, seasonings. I did use ginger in that variation. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't been putting ginger in it here lately. But that's okay. We can use some ginger today. I also had shredded carrot for it. And so anyway, the point is the meat was done, the cabbage was raw. I froze it that way because then in meal prep videos that followed that, when life imploded, guess what? I had a nice stack of freezer meals in my freezer, and that was definitely helpful at different times. Also in that video, it's just a sign of good healing progress for me that I can say these words out of my mouth right now. In another video I watched of myself today, just for a little bit, you know, little clips here and there of when we used the egg roll in the bowl from the freezer, and life at that time, I believe it was September 2023. Whew, and I was going through that dream garden and we were harvesting tomatoes, and I just remember that time. And I am so thankful. I'm just so thankful, so very thankful to be here now in September 25. And I can't imagine how good life will feel when I've made it through to, you know, September 26, September 27, since I've had this long journey. I I just hope it's an encouragement to you, whatever you're going through. So many people have told me it'll get better as time goes by. And yes, things have gotten better. For me, yes, things have gotten better with my healing as time goes by. This is our dissertation that we're getting this afternoon. Okay, let's move our cabbage. Oh, I don't know, this is so awkward. I don't know if I can do this one. On my hip. Let's just, whew. Okay, pretty good there, pretty good. Now I'm gonna do some arm raises, do some stretches. We did pretty good. Anyway, healing life update, right? I get in so many good miles and so much good movement, and it's a good routine of my life. But I know 2 years ago, I couldn't get through a day without getting in heavy movement just to get the endorphins that I needed to get through the day and to be worn down enough so that I could sleep that night. And sleeping was also a miracle and a mercy. And so now, 2 years later, I ran a 5K with several hundred people this morning. But yesterday I got in like 1,500 steps. I mean, we cooked in the kitchen, but that doesn't equal a lot of steps. At least it never does for me. But 2 years ago, I could not. I would have been just a mess. And I was a mess on any 1,500 step days. My job was to get my movement so my brain could process and I could have forward motion. And my therapist and my doctor and all the people who have been on my team have just said all my good healthy movement has helped save me. So all of that, we got all those memories from all this cabbage, okay? And all of this cabbage goes back to the egg roll in the bowl that I made for the freezer, May, June-ish 2023. And then when we were using it in September 23. And here we are now, we've made it to September 25. And again, it's been, you know, I make it fresh. I do egg roll in a bowl usually a couple times a week, but it's been a bit since I've had it for the freezer, and I am glad and excited to get it for the freezer. Only difference now, 2 years later, I don't have chickens and pigs at this time of life to feed this to, but that's okay. I'm gonna take a couple leaves off, and then, so I'm gonna probably do, I mean, these are giant heads, but I'm gonna chop up 3 for egg roll in a bowl, and then the other 3, and then we have a small one, will be cabbage lasagna and cabbage roll casserole. And so we're just gonna get this chopping party started. Now, the day before, I thought I was gonna assign some of my teen guys to chop down the cabbages for me, also peel the cabbage leaves for cabbage lasagna. But really, when the day before, I was like, yeah, I'm not getting into those directions yet. And I thought I would do it on the second meal prep day. And then I was like, I really have to get in here and decide. So we've got so many beautiful cabbage leaves. I am cutting these down now for egg roll in a bowl, and I'm just continuing. I'm eyeballing it. Part of this is eyeballing it, right? But we're still doing it. So I'm just slicing it down. Again, could have had my teen guys do this, but I just couldn't quite formulate the directions in my brain as to how many cabbages I wanted to chop down for egg roll in a bowl, because I was going on the amount of protein I had prepped and other ingredients I had, and just how I was going to swing this. Also, I still wanted to eyeball and see, and maybe even do some actual math, on how many cabbage leaves I would need. Now, I wasn't going to break down the, individual, like I need 17 cabbage leaves per large 10 by 15 lasagna, and probably it's 2 to 3 times that. But I wanted to get chopped down what I thought looked good to me, which is how I do a lot of things around here. What looks good to me for the amount of cabbage
for the amount of egg roll in a bowl I felt I could prep in advance. And then with the cabbages that were left, those we're going to peel down, and we are going to just do a light boil on those, and then we will use those to layer in our homemade from scratch cabbage lasagnas.
I think I'm going to just do this on the little one that's judging me from my refrigerator. But again, we're just gonna peel a couple leaves and it'll all be okay. I'm just gonna cut this one down and add it to the egg roll in the bowl, mega bowl. And then we have 3 giant ones for our other 2 recipes. And I will link all of these down in the description below as well. Just gonna cut a couple little spots off. Cabbage was almost growing some roots again at the bottom. One thing I'm thinking though is that I don't have enough protein prepped because I'm also doing sausage gravy, and that sausage we have left from yesterday. Anyway, it's okay. We got time. We can adapt. I'm gonna run downstairs to the beef freezer. I'm gonna pull some frozen protein. I'm gonna do a cold water defrost method. I need to be moving while I'm saying this, but I'm telling you what we are getting ready to embark on. I'm gonna defrost it enough to get it out of the package, and we are going to cook it, and it is going to work out great. We can also call this, if you give a mouse a cookie, cooking, okay? It'll be okay though. I'm going to grab my Aldi bag to grocery shop in my basement grocery store with my ground beef that's almost done, but that's okay. I actually look back at my Facebook memories and it's been a year since that video came out with the full cow, and we are to the end of it. So this is 12 pounds of ground beef that will emergency cook up. That means I only have 8 pounds of ground beef left. We've used it, we're doing it. And then you can see the rest of this freezer. These are all the bones that we're gonna start dealing with in another project in a few days.
Okay, ground beef, let's go meet your destiny.
Spontaneous mom cooking and figuring things out. I think this is the best way to handle this. These I can actually put over here. That was a measuring cup. Ta-da! I had my vitamins in. How'd you like that little jump? Okay, so while we keep dealing with this cabbage, yeah, because I was even thinking through the spaghetti sauce from the freezer for the cabbage lasagnas. I was thinking, oh, I might have to expand, make some more sauce, or defrost another batch of sauce. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but I do know we're doing it, and I do know we are prepping a ton of food, and it's all gonna work out great in the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some water boiling so we can blanch our lasagna leaves. I'm gonna play musical pots here for a moment. Yeah, I'll probably do that. I was talking to myself trying to figure out if I really wanted to do the leaves in this pot, because we've got ground beef, but it's only 12 pounds of ground beef. And I'm really wondering if that's enough. The math and the volume is in my head. A lot of egg roll in a bowl, and it's a lot of cabbage lasagna, potentially. Well, I have my 16-quart goose pot. I can get meat going in this as well. I think I know what we're gonna do. I've had about 12 pounds of ground turkey. I've talked about it for a while, and it has been judging me a long, long time from the freezer. So I think I'm just gonna go get that, and then we'll do the farm-raised, grass-fed, ground beef, and ground turkey mix. And it'll be about half and half, and I think that will be okay. Okay. Just keeps expanding.
Alrighty, judgy ground turkey time. Actually, it's 3-pound packs of ground turkey, but I have 4 of them, so it's still 12 pounds. Guess that doesn't matter. I was thinking they were 2-pound packs. All works out in the end.
All right. Pulling it together pretty good. I think these turkey packs will just open and come out. I'm more just trying to get the plastic to come off the ground beef. See, spontaneous cooking calls for spontaneous problem solving, but give me a couple hours in the kitchen and we can figure some stuff out. Four, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, okay, so it'll be 24 pounds of ground protein between the egg roll, the bowl, and my cooking mom afternoon spidey sense is just telling me, I'm getting some ideas here. All right, so this giant 30-quart bowl, this, we're gonna call that egg roll in a bowl, although we'll be making that in probably 2 30-quart bowls once we get our other ingredients in there. Now I'm going to peel the cabbage to boil for cabbage lasagna. Many things happening here. Again, sorry chickens, but we will feed the woodland creatures. If you're new here, I don't have chickens currently, so that's why I always say that. From having so many farm animals, these kind of scraps, I'm like, oh, things would have enjoyed this. Pigs and chickens would have liked this. Okay, we will need this in a moment. Now I'm just going to get into this and peel the leaves. And you're just thinking like noodle layers, lasagna layers. I also like doing those palmini noodle sheets. It's hard to palm.
So now I've decided I need some more protein to pull all these projects off that I'm spinning. And so I'm going to open up the ground beef that we have pulled up, and I'm going to get this cooking in the goose pot. And we are going to make some other miracles happen, and it's all going to work out great, which things working out great is also my favorite. So, but I do need to, we did the cold water defrost method on the ground beef, and now I need to get it in the pot, and then we're going to circle back to the cabbage and peeling those leaves. But I try to think in layers when I do these big cooking projects, like what can I have cooking right now that'll be helpful while I go and prep these other vegetables, and then re-rotate around like that, and somehow, miracle of miracles, it all comes together and works out good in the end. So I'm still going through and peeling down what I can for our massive egg roll in the bowl prep, which again, in 2023, that was so helpful for me to have egg roll in the bowl in the freezer. All I had to do was dump the meal prep freezer meal bags containing the egg roll in the bowl into one of my cast iron pans. I didn't have to add anything else unless I wanted to. The vegetables, the sauces, the protein, that did the job. I do like to add on some fried eggs or some other items when I can, or maybe, you know me, throw a little lard or bacon grease in there as well. But the meals in the bags are super helpful. That's why I do them, and why we're slowly working to get a nice stash of freezer meals going again. Also, for my family members, I could do something like brown rice or white rice. Usually I've used brown. There's also jasmine rice. Choose your own adventure with your rice. That can be done in the Instant Pot in the slow cooker, and that can be done the day of cooking and serving as another option as well. Rowing our boat. I can get it all in there, which this pot's filling up. I'll just turn the heat off, and in a few minutes, yeah, we can do it. I'm gonna turn the heat off. I'm
I'm honestly just thinking about the very last cabbage, shredding it and freezing just cabbage in a couple gallon bags, because I will even fry cabbage and have it, just again, walk with me on this journey. Fry it in some bacon grease, fry it in some lard, right? Fry a couple eggs and I eat the eggs on top. So I will also do that. So I think this last one, we are just going to have some meal prep chopped cabbage. And I might even do it in some smaller size bags. I'll think through it, because it's me and maybe 2 other people. So 3 people would be interested in some fried cabbage. Basically another egg roll in a bowl variation, but just fried cabbage and some fried eggs. Okay, well, we're just gonna put this lid on. And then with our ground meat that's cooking, I was only able to get 1 of the 3-pound packs of the turkey in there. Oh, I keep setting my little heating pads everywhere. Oh well. Anyway, should have ordered a meat masher at Walmart. And I'm looking because I had someone who needed something else. So there's another, of course, Walmart delivery coming. But right now, before anything else happens in life, before I even mash that meat, because we discussed this yesterday and I didn't get it done, and you've reminded me. Meat masher. Okay. Got it. What's that little piece on the end? What's up with that? Okay. Nice. Shipping, it'll come tomorrow. Can I get 2 of them? They have a 2-pack. Just ship it to me, Walmart. I hope these are okay. Fine, great. Yes, hold on. Almost done. 2 meat mashers coming to my door. I guess I was not made to live in any other time period. You know, we lived so many years without Walmart delivery, right? But now that we have it, I don't want to go back. Okay, great. Okay, life problems almost solved. I might be able to get 3 more pounds of ground turkey in here. I mean, this is not even halfway cooked through because it was a lot frozen, so. I'm just trying to get it flipped over. Maybe I'll leave well enough alone. I'm not sure. I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear if you're telling me. Go for 3 more pounds. So what I'm going to do, well, okay, I was getting ready to do egg roll in a bowl, and I better just keep on chopping my cabbage. I did go down to my basement grocery store, and thankfully I had more liquid aminos. I had 2 different sesame seed oils already open, and I have another unopened one. That's some random garlic powder. I need to get some ginger too. I just figure I'm gonna, this is the biggest egg roll in a bowl prep I have ever done at one time, but of course we are, right? But I do like that idea of just having some other chopped cabbage for breakfast. like it. So we're gonna do that real quick too. I'm just gonna put it in this dish, and we'll use this for an upcoming cabbage lasagna here too. We will just let our meal prepped cabbage be an easy win. Just go ahead and get that in a freezer bag. Nothing else on it. I know to some it may seem silly, but to me, to have cabbage ready to go in my freezer, I will just grab it and dump it and cook it. A great low carb, sugar free, check all the boxes type breakfast for me. And again, when I have a cabbage, I have gone through the steps many a time to fry it up and make it, but I like this idea. Okay, and I'm just going to put, I'm gonna put breakfast cabbage. And I will do gallon bags of it now that I think about it, because I mean, if I, did a gallon bag of it, I would have that prepped for the day, and I would have cabbage with my other meals too. So yes, I like this. I like this idea. The 50 pounds of cabbage for $19.99 at the John Henry General Store. That's a winner. Winner, winner, lots of cabbage breakfast, lunch, and dinners. Okay, so now to tackle the world's biggest egg roll in a bowl situation. I'm going to get out, we're gonna do this in two 30-quart bowls so that I can stir it up, right? I don't know how much sauce we're gonna need. There's no math happening. This is all with my eyeball, with my heart, okay? We measure the egg roll in a bowl. We measure the sauces with our heart, right? Just gonna do it half and half here. I think that's what's gonna take to stir it up. Now, last time I did this, and when I do this fresh, I have put carrots in it and eggs, and even on the days that I cook this, I very well could scramble up some eggs and add to it as well. We won't go that far. It's gonna be our cabbage and our sauces and our protein. And again, shredded carrots also works very well. I'm just not going to shred carrots. But being versatile, look, we got double talking hands. On cooking day, this is going to be 99% done. So anything else I want to throw in is bonus points. In my video from 2023, I was talking about doing steamed rice for my family to go along with it for themselves. So you can do different side dishes and such.
I'm gonna have a dumping party, okay? So we have probably, I think we could say 50 quarts of cabbage. We have, this bowl is 3/4 of the way full. This bowl is a little more than that. And even if I didn't have all of these sauces, I could add more. I'm just gonna let these finish dripping out. I could add more on cooking day also if needed. But you know this is one of my favorite things. So having, what do you think we're gonna get? Probably 6 or so gallon bags for the freezer, no complaints. And we're gonna mix this with our great mixing hands here in a few minutes. Actually, I just left that one. Have at it. And you can use regular soy sauce. You can also use coconut aminos. I just happen to stock up on liquid aminos. I learned this from the Trim Healthy Mama ladies years ago. And I'll see how that looks once we mix it up. Okay, I don't know exactly what we're gonna find in here, but I do believe it's gonna be some hot meat. Yep, that's what we got. So put my lid in a bowl. Well, if only those meat mashers were thought of again today. So we've got about 15 pounds of meat because the turkey that we added in was 3. 12 plus 3, 15, unless I'm doing it wrong, unless it's butter math, which is also a thing. All right, I've got a big bowl in here. Drain the meat. Keep things a-rolling. So now we are going to dump out the meat. We are doing it. I picked it up, me, myself, and I, we did it. And I'm going to let that drain. Now I do have my large colander inside another mixing bowl. And so that is catching all of the grease that is coming out of that ground meat, so that's good. And then again, missing the fact that I don't have a meat chopper. That is sad, but we are still hitting it with the spatula some more and stirring it. And so I'm going to, you know, just help this meat find its purpose in life, right? Its last grand hurrah. And it is now going to be part of our egg roll in a bowl. So now I am going through and I am scooping off the ground beef from our quick drain and getting that in the egg roll bowl. And then we got our boat oar there, right? Just gonna stir that up. We are going to also add in a good bunch. Good bunch, that's our measuring unit. Good bunch of sesame oil and good bunch of liquid aminos as well, and then salt and pepper. And you can add in garlic powder and onion powder and even some ginger if you'd like. Whatever your favorite egg roll in a bowl type seasonings are, that's what you can add. And again, whatever you don't get done or whatever I don't get added to the assembly days, whenever I dump this freezer meal in my pan and cook it, you know, 4 weeks later, 12 weeks later, 6 weeks later, I can add in anything else that's needed. It might be that I have half a bag of matchstick carrots left from jar salads or something else happening around here, and I just decide on the big batch cooking day where I am using this egg roll in the bowl from the freezer to just add those carrots into the pan, and all is good. Okay, you know, my best laid plans, how they go. But then we also get spontaneous things. So
I do have some organic matchstick carrots that I was going to use to meal prep our jar salads, which I don't think we're getting to in this video. We're still dealing with all this cabbage. So I think I'm going to, I believe I got 2 bags of those. Ooh, this might be, let's go this way. So I will put a bag into each of these 30-quart bowls for egg roll the bowl. We didn't slice no carrots. We're not getting to jar salads. Unfortunately, I just don't think it's happening. I am trying to be realistic. My least favorite thing, but I do okay. I won't even give me pretty okay. I do okay at it, right? Like I can see how things go. We've already made 1,000 different meals, right? We just won't be making 1,250 different meals in this video. But guess what? In a few days when I get another meal prep day, I already know what we're starting with. So that is how things roll. That's probably, I feel like that one might need a little more. We've got a few pieces that fell down there. Pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna go tell one of my folks to go get me those carrots. I think I have them in a downstairs refrigerator. Pretty sure I got them yesterday as a last minute add-in for jar salads. I think their destiny instead is going to be egg roll and a bowl. Step over to this one for a minute. Okay. Forget everything I said about carrots. I'm gaslighting you about matchstick carrots. Haha. Joke, joke. There are no matchstick carrots. Apparently, I looked at them, I pondered them, and I thought I added them. But I didn't. Looked at them, and I thought yesterday, no, because we have fresh broccoli, we have celery, we have all these prepped cucumbers, which I'm still eating, we have baby tomatoes, we have lettuce, we have everything we need. We just need a person to meal prep the jar salad. So I'm busy doing my 1,000 meals, and this will be good. So again, it's a good basic egg roll in a bowl. When I take them frozen from the bags and dump them in, I keep calling these 22-inch cast irons. Somewhere I started saying that, but in my videos from 2 years ago, I'm calling these 17-inch cast irons. So I wasn't even joking when I expanded that number. I just, somewhere I just totally got a number wrong with that. Anyway, we will dump the frozen bags. You'll be with me. Into the big cast irons, whatever size they are. They're 57 inches, right? Since I have 57 children, haha. And then at that time, I can also throw in, if I've got green onions, if I've got matchstick carrots, if I have a couple fried eggs I want to throw in. It's not required though. This is delicious how it is. Just saying, it's very versatile, and I can add a lot of other things to it if I wanted to, and I can also serve it up as is. And then, like my idea from my past self over 2 years ago, serve it with some rice. You know, there's lots of options. Priorities, gonna take a watermelon break. And I'm going to get our spaghetti sauce from the freezer going in this same pot we cooked all that other ground meat in. I've got 2-gallon bags, and it's spaghetti meat sauce. Maybe, I'm trying to think, we didn't date it, but probably from 6 to 8 weeks ago. Didn't I meal prep it? Didn't I video this? I feel like I did. Seems like if I'm cooking, I'm filming. There was a big spaghetti situation, and what's that taco meat?
see if it's taco meat or if it's just ground beef I didn't get to use. I think that's what it is. Okay, I'm not so sure though. I think I have emergency defrosted. Had I? Sloppy Joes. Unmarked Sloppy Joes. So dangerous. I feel like it's going from bad to worse. We normally mark bags. But, okay, so, okay, if I use this Sloppy Joe meat, what does it have? It has the swerve brown sugar. I'm seeing what my brain can pull up. We got swerve brown sugar. We've got tomato paste. We've got meat. We've got ground beef, of course. Spaghetti sauce. Some people add sugar to spaghetti sauce. If I will need to add more tomato sauce. Well, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see what we can figure out. Okay. Let's see if we can make some spaghetti sauce out of this. This is 2 jars of our home canned tomato sauce. One was just not full enough to can, and the other one didn't seal right, but everything else did. Sniff test, still good. It's been like a week or so. And then this one I might have to pop. Okay. So good. And then pulling out all the stops. This is from earlier in the summer, at some point, maybe in the late spring. It was a meatball situation. I'm gonna add it to help our spaghetti sauce and use it up. And now we have a true hodgepodge, almost 16 quarts of throw together sauce. Don't worry, I will taste test it. A gallon bag of spaghetti sauce, a gallon bag of surprise Sloppy Joes, but again, it's ground beef. I'm thinking through all my ingredients. Ground beef, yes, swerve brown sugar, tomato paste. Pretty sure that also has liquid aminos and such. It just tastes like sweet meat to me. So maybe we can get away with some sweet meat spaghetti sauce. I just have to be hopeful at this point. Just have to be, because I'm pretty deep in it, like the rest of life, right? And so we're just gonna be hopeful. That's it. That's all we can do. Just let this sauce cook through here, mainly because a good bit of that was still frozen. I have some splashed sauce. It's a cabbage lasagna, big batch, bulk cooking, surprise party. That's what tonight's theme is. And now it is time, it is time, it is time. I have found my liquid aminos. I had to go down to the grocery store in my basement for that. I also got my sesame oil, and we are gonna eyeball and pour on enthusiastically. Again, that's our cooking measurements. So right now I'm just labeling my bags. Egg roll in a bowl, putting the date on it. Now I'm not giving, dump and cook through directions on here, because I don't plan at this point to share any of this egg roll in a bowl with the few other people that I'm going to give a few portions of this food to. I did have someone ask me the other day, why do all this mega meal prep if you're giving all the food away? I don't give all the food away. I have in the past, 2016, maybe 2018, I think once or twice in 2020 and 2021. Sure, we have definitely done big meal prep days to feed postpartum moms and friends in the hospital dealing with things. We have done that. But I'm just meal prepping and cooking for my 3 times a day Thanksgiving volume of food that I have for the 10 humans that live in this house. But I do have friends that are a household of 2, and I thought they could use 1 bag of breakfast burritos. If 2 people were given a dozen freezer burritos, hey, that could be 3 breakfasts over a week when they have heavy appointments out, and then someone else who has a lot of time on the road right now, and I'm like, hey, 8 breakfast burritos for them, that could be meals, really just choose your own adventure over about 2 weeks. That might be helpful. And so that's the level of meal prepping for others that I'm doing while I make this large amount of food just to help me as a single mom of 57 children, as we like to say, get through the days and keep my family fed and give us a few options in life. Not that I am not it does not beyond me to get out a bag of Costco chicken nuggets and 2 bags of fries from Sharp Shopper and half a bushel of apples from John Henry, and hey, look, we meal prepped and Eggo waffles. All of that, all of those things are so very helpful, and they serve me in my life. When I need some Eggo waffles, no problem, no shame in this mama game. We have them. I'll put them in the bottom of the fridge. Folks will heat them up in the toaster as they need them. Have we made homemade waffles and homemade pancakes before? Yeah, sure, we certainly have. Am I doing that today? No, but I am tackling 50 pounds of cabbage, and I'm proud of us. We're doing it, and we will have some servings to share with a few other folks. And I always have to remember, if I give someone 8 breakfast burritos or a dozen breakfast burritos, that's a lot of meals for 1 or 2 people. 8 burritos or a dozen burritos in my house, that's not even 1 meal. That's not even 1 breakfast for 10, because several of those folks, could need 2 or are going to need some fruit or some other things to go along with that. So a dozen breakfast burritos does not go far around here. So the fact that on this big cooking day, we used 6.5 dozen eggs, and we made 54 breakfast burritos. That's awesome. I'm proud of us. That means my large family household has a bit of a breakfast burrito stash. Look at us. And we got to share a few portions with a few other folks. And we also do 6 or more large cabbage lasagnas. We also have 2-gallon bags of prepped cabbage in the freezer. We did that huge homemade broccoli Alfredo skillet, which was so delicious. None was left the next day. We prepped 18 pounds of strawberries, 2 watermelons, and 2 cantaloupes as well. So we definitely, we made a dent, right? We also get 7-gallon freezer bags of egg roll in a bowl. Now for my family, that's 7 dinners. Will we have egg roll in a bowl 7 nights in a row? I wouldn't mind that, right? But that's 7 dinners over the next 8 to 12 weeks where egg roll in the bowl is already done for us. And the 6 or so cabbage lasagnas, again, I like to think of freezer meals. You hear it said, prep once, eat for a month, prep once, eat for 2 months. Some of these things that we have prepped once on this weekend, we will eat in different ways over 3 months. And because we continue to do this freezer cooking and we continue to have these epic meal prep days, we're able to add in more variety and more options for us over time.
Okay, we've got 2 different kinds of beaters, but we have 2 beaters, so we are winning already. Hopefully it works. Just be friends. Okay, looked out. I've been taste testing our sauce. It's good, it's good, I approve. I wouldn't say to go about it that way, but we worked it out. It definitely worked out, and I had about 5 spoonfuls to verify. I mean, it is a tad on the sweet side, but not sloppy Joe, sickening sweet. Just enough, and we can get away with it because we've got a lot of other tomato in there. And it's all cooked together. All right, so workflow, assembly line. Going to put a hot pad there, or a trivet. And then, yeah, I've still got a couple things I've got to get together. See if I can handle my sauce. I don't know that I can carry that. Yeah, I'm gonna have one of my guys get that. And I thought I wouldn't need this anymore, but I do. Okay, gonna have some off-camera teenage boy help. So now is the big assembly of the cabbage lasagna. So I cover the bottom of my 10 by 15 Pyrex pan in the sauce, our choose your own adventure sauce, which I did taste test and it was good. It's a sweeter sauce, which I know some folks who will add sugar in different amounts to their spaghetti sauce. So this is just a little on the sweeter side, and it is the Swerve brown sugar. So low carb and trim healthy mama minded folks have that as an option. And now we have our ricotta replacement. This is our protein-based cottage cheese, and then also a little bit of Greek yogurt and our eggs and our seasonings. And this is in place of our ricotta layer. Over the years, I have used cottage cheese many times, and I've used Greek yogurt, and I've used sour cream. Just depends on what I have available and what I need to use up. Now I'm adding our layer of our mozzarella, and then I'm going to go back to it, and we are going to add another sauce layer, and we will do another lasagna noodle layer. And these are so very delicious. Like I mentioned to you, the other favorite variation is the palmini noodles, which I can get the palmini in like long noodles at Walmart. I've gotten it in cans and in these little bags they have. But the palmini noodle sheets for lasagna, I've ordered those, and I usually get like 3 to 6 bags in a batch on Amazon, and that's how I get those. I have some in my cabinet now. They were, believe me, those palmini noodles were rolling their eyes as they were watching me boil this cabbage and make this cabbage lasagna. But when I get 50 pounds of cabbage for under $20 and it needs to find its purpose in life, you know, we're still handling our business, and those palmini lasagna sheet noodles are in the cabinet and sealed, and they can just sit tight a little longer. We'll get to those. Getting gooder. I think we're gonna end up with 4 10 by 15s of the cabbage lasagna. And we'll see, are there gonna be any 9 by 13s? And of course there will be some 9 by 13s. So we end up with the 4 10 by 15s and several 9 by 13s for a wonderful stash. Do I mind having 6 or 7 or 57 cabbage lasagnas meal prepped in my freezer? I do not. And I'm excited to get going on having these freezer meals again. Now we also have 2 bags of taco meat, we do, and we have a few homemade pizza dough balls in the freezer as well. So we're getting more variety. Now some of those things I have to have the capacity to have the foresight to pull out the pizza dough, put it in the refrigerator to defrost, and then that means in the next day or 2 we can roll out the pizza dough and have ourselves some homemade pizza. So we do that as we're able as well, and we have used those at different times over the past couple months, but it'll definitely be good to work through those. We got to go to Sharp Shopper again. We got to get more taco shells and those blue corn chips, and then those last 2 bags of taco meat we prepped will meet their destiny. And I'm working on trying to not overflow this pan. Right? Want to get my leaves spread out there, and these have always frozen wonderfully, reheated wonderfully. Now, yes, there can be some liquid in reheating these in the oven, and I've just always gently poured off the little bit of extra liquid. No complaints, no problems. So because I am who I am and my 10 by 15s, well, that one in the middle, that's not too overflowy full. But anyway, to solve that problem, whenever I pulled one of these from the freezer and we set it into the refrigerator the day before to defrost, and then it's the afternoon and I go to put it in the oven to bake it, I'll need to put it on a baking sheet, that's all. Because if we get, because we'll get some bubbling up action just to prevent any spills that come my way, I will just put the casserole dish on top of a baking sheet and life will go on. And so we will also wrap these cabbage lasagnas in foil and plastic wrap. If you're going to share one of these with someone, it's good to have the directions written off or printed off or written on the foil. Also, when I've given meals, I include the baking time, the temperature. These meals in particular, at this time I'm just planning, I will use these to feed my family over, again, the next 6 to 12 weeks, basically. I mean, we could do, I'm not mad about having 1 cabbage lasagna, a week or every other week as needed. That's the thing. I don't always have a big plan as to when I will use my freezer meals because life tells me when I need to use my freezer meals. We have many homeschool activities getting ready to start. We have, for our first time in 2 years, some sports that are getting ready to start. I haven't had the capacity to juggle that on my own the last 2 years. And this fall, I'm like, yeah, we can try some of these activities in the evening again. I think let's go. Let's do this. Let's give this a try. So we're getting ready to have, just like a lot of families, several evenings a week where we have a lot of coming and going. Now, we've done other activities. We definitely have, but this is some more commitment, and we had to take a break for a bit. So it'll be great to see all the ways we are slinging freezer meals. Really, September is still my time to get a bit ahead, and things get real in October. But that's okay because we will continue our freezer meal cycle of defrosting things and using the meals for the day we need them, also getting the slow cookers going and all those fun options. We're going to try to get a little more out of this, but I'm almost out of my ricotta-ish stuff. Maybe I can go easy on that. I refilled with some more cheese.
And you know, we're using up our sauce. I had some sauce left. I had some cabbage leaves left. My makeshift ricotta there, it was getting to the end, but I thought I could scrape it some. We'll use this mixture cheese. It's all fine. You know, what cheese we use is the cheese we have on hand. We are just scraping the last of the cheese mixture, just trying to get another cabbage lasagna out of this. And I think we did it. Huge accomplishment. Definitely, I was tired by this point of the night or almost morning. We have 4 30-quart bowls there, pretty dirty right now, but that means that we got a lot done and I am proud of us. I'm going to also work through some cleanup tasks after this big homemade freezer meals and meal prep adventure on this weekend, and I'm glad we did it. We got a lot happening now for the coming weeks. So here's all of the cabbage lasagnas that we got done, 6 total, 4 of the 10 by 15 size and 2 9 by 13 size. And you know what, this time of night, I don't normally eat past 7 p.m. I usually I close my kitchen for myself at that time. However, on this night, I had worked so hard and I was so tired. And I know one thing for me, and I know there's some scientific facts and language around this that my brain can't pull right now. We have different hunger hormones, different hormones released that spur on hunger. The later it gets, as we get more tired, I'm tired, and now I feel like I'm starving, but I know I just need to go to bed. And so yeah, I'm enjoying the watermelon. We had prepped those watermelons the day before, and I'm still not ready to give up summer. I keep saying that. We are so close to it, you know, the watermelon machine being closed down. And so I'm like, you know, if I take out 6 pieces of watermelon, that's just fine. I'm not taking out 6 Hershey bars right now. I'm taking out 6 slices of watermelon, and that is my idea of a late night good meal prep time. I'm also doing things like getting my cheese bagged up, although, yeah, wiping the watermelon from my mouth, all of these important things. Can't quite get my cheese in my bag there, but look, we're going to use our bag stand, and it's going to all work out. This cheese is going to go in there, and I have my different folks around here, they like to take shredded cheese and tortillas and do their own quesadillas and even do microwave quesadillas. And so this shredded cheese, they will roll through this over the next few days as well, probably about a week of a little bit here and there, different things they like to cook up. It is fun getting to the stage where so many of my folks can also do their own food. But like any mom, you know, I'm the mom and I like to have meals ready to go. It's convenient for me. It's convenient for everybody else. We certainly have days where, like I say, we get those Costco chicken nuggets and that's the day. But with 3 large meals a day, we could have a freezer meal, you know, freezer meals for breakfast. Everyone might make their own lunch with some leftover portions from whatever we did for dinner the night before. And then for dinner, we could do 2 chickens in the pot on top of root vegetables, or we could have another freezer meal we use. Or I could say to one of my folks, hey, one of my folks, get those Aldi chicken legs and get those on a sheet pan, and we'll do sheet pan chicken legs tonight. And so for the 10 by 15 cabbage lasagnas, I'm just going to use the red lids. I don't always do that. Many times I will still wrap them in foil and plastic wrap to prevent freezer burn. But also when I do freezer meals for such a large household, I generally do not have a lot of items still in my freezer, we'll say even 6 months down the road. Now, you know, we could have a bag of chili, which we don't. But in the past, we could have a bag of chili from 6 months or even a year before, and we go through and we'll still use it later, and that's why I always like to date my items. But for the most part, we move through things so quickly that I don't worry about freezer burn around here. So good friends, yeah, there were things we wanted to do. You know, I wanted to do a bunch of biscuits for the freezer and regular sausage gravy and a keto sausage gravy variation. We didn't get to those. And we didn't do any homemade ranch or jar salads either. But let's talk about what we did get done. We got done 54 homemade from scratch breakfast burritos. We were able to share a small portion of those with 3 other humans who could also use some breakfast burritos in their life. In my family, we got the equivalent of at least 3 full breakfasts, but my people will use those burritos for individual portions over the coming weeks as needed. We used 78 eggs, about 6.5 dozen there. We got 7-gallon freezer bags, 7 freezer meals of egg roll in a bowl, prepped and ready to go. We got 6 cabbage lasagnas, 4 10 by 15 pans, and 2 9 by 13 pans. We prepped 2-gallon bags of regular old cabbage because I will use that for breakfast, or I will cook that for lunch and have some other protein with it. And hey, look, I meal prepped. We have no evidence other than the video footage, but we made a gigantic, huge Alfredo skillet with sausage and cauliflower rice and broccoli, and we just decided to go all out. The inspiration hit, and we did a homemade Alfredo sauce for that, and that was gone. That was gone. 12 hours, none left. No breakfast portions, because I would have eaten that for breakfast. No lunch portions. That night, winner, Alfredo skillet giant dinner. Everybody loved it. Also, my guys prepped 18 pounds of strawberries for us, 2 watermelons, and 2 cantaloupes. So hey, look, we meal prepped this weekend. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me on this adventure. Buckle up. In our next meal prep video, we're going to tackle the rest of this list. Yes, we are. I want to also get sausage biscuits in the freezer. You know, we've done a lot of homemade bagels and breakfast bagel and biscuit type sandwiches, but even just simple homemade biscuit with a sausage patty, I think that would be phenomenal. Let's do it. I'll see you real soon with another brand new video.